Howdy, everyone.
Hello.
Greetings and salutations.
Sup?
Happy Thursday.
Hello, everyone. Hi, guys. Greetings and salutations. Sup?
So, just running through the announcements real quick. I know that y'all probably seen quite a few things circulating around. Some of the big things coming up are the classes next week. So, if you've been considering taking them, give it a shot. We have the option for hybrid. There's a chance for specifically online only or in person. Just let us know what you're looking for and we'll gladly do. If you have any recommendations for topics, let us know. We're always looking for them. And pretty much every other thing has been covered either in a pinned post or something along those lines. We do have a couple of fun things coming up other than the classes. Tarot Night is one of the things that's coming up. Actually really excited for that one because it's on leap year, specifically leap day.
Yep.
We didn't even plan it that way, but you know, fuck it, we ball.
That is the 2024. It is 2024.
It is.
It is all year long.
Damn. The 2024 motto for Spirit Mechanics. Fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball.
I mean, why not, right?
We are going to be at the Central Kentucky Mystical Market on March 9th and 10th, so come out and see us, get your hug, get your handshake. We'll be there looking for y'all. If you want your cards flipped, you know where to find us. In March, we'll also be at Sacred Journey Market, and that's March 23rd and 24th. That'll be a bit further north, and we are super stoked for that one.
It'll be at the Holiday Inn and Suites Eastgate.
Well,
In Cincinnati.
Yep.
it's going to be a blast, y'all. Come see us.
In Cincinnati.
So,
That should cover up through March.
that does cover us, so we're golden after that.
Awesome, awesome. For those wondering where the quick word has been this week, there has been a lot going on this week, and because of that, I honestly haven't done it yet. One is probably going to pop its head up tomorrow, because for the love of Christ, I actually have time tomorrow. So I'll be on with you guys at least for about 15 minutes to talk about a little bit of something. But thank you all for your patience.
We love you guys.
Absolutely.
This month's topic has been pretty fantastic because, you know, when in February, why not talk about love? Hey, Miss Linda, how are you?
Hello, hello.
Ready for Lucalia?
Pretty much. Last week we talked about loving yourself, and it was actually a really awesome live. Thanks to everybody who participated in the comments last week, and please feel free again to comment this week. We actually love going back and forth with y'all, especially when it's stuff that's so important. Hey, Miss Dina!
Howdy, howdy, chick.
Linda Nelson also said, doing good. Hope y'all are too. Doing pretty solid at the current moment, actually.
Yeah.
So thank you.
As Jenny Tubb comments, comment.
Hi, Jenny. Love you. Hearts. And that does actually kind of lead into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is about loving others. We obviously had to do loving yourself first, because you can't love yourself. If you can't love yourself, then it makes it really, really hard to love others. It makes it really hard to come from a place of love when you're talking to somebody else, because it takes a whole different connotation and a whole different meaning to the word love when you actually do have the ability to look inside yourself and say, I love you, to yourself. Because then it means you can start actually saying it to others.
It's an interesting thing, you know, when you start talking about love, especially for other people, you have to view it from outside of yourself. Love may be something that is expressed from you, but it has nothing to do with you. It's something that is freely given. If you're holding expectations of hearing it or being shown in the same way that you give, then you're not really expressing love at that point. What you're wanting is a reciprocation of your feelings. There's a huge difference. one person's understanding of what quote-unquote love is and another's is going to be completely different. And to hold someone's standard of love over your own head or yours over someone else's is literally just being selfish.
I apologize if I say your name incorrectly, but hi, Katara. Thanks for catching the live. Glad you could make it tonight.
So what is it to actually love other people? You know, are you expressing fond feelings? Sure. Are you expressing a desire to be with somebody, whether that is romantically or platonically? Sure. But what is love? You know, we literally talked about it last week, and it was the understanding of the difference between self-sacrifice and martyrdom. Self-sacrifice is giving of yourself unconditionally. Well, this is what love actually is in the first place. So, how do you feel when you say I love you to someone else? If you're waiting to hear it in return, what are you actually saying? There's a condition. Well, if I say it, then you should too. What if that person's love language, which we're going to get into in a minute, what if that person's love language is something different? You know, some people give gifts. Some people are worriers. Let me know you made it home safe. Be careful. Some people are doers. I've got you. You let me know when you need me. Love language is different with different people. You have to understand that people shouldn't meet you where you are at. You're supposed to meet in the middle. Love is not about accommodation, which is what a lot of relationships, whether friendship, co-worker, romantic, it's where a lot of relationships go to. You should accommodate my needs.
We have a comment from Miss Linda Nelson. Yep, it's conditional sometimes. I lived with someone who couldn't say it, but he showed it in a million different ways by the things he did for me and my family. I think you said my family friends, but it came out as my family feud. Yep. Not
My
family
Family
feud,
Feud.
autocorrect, just family. Okay.
Show me potato salad!
But you're completely correct. I mean, sometimes it is shown in different forms.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a lot harder for the words to physically come out, because sometimes that's not the easiest way for somebody to express it. And that's part of the meeting in the middle, is knowing A, where you're at, and B, where the other person is. A, how you work, and B, how the other person works. Because you can give and receive love in many, many different ways, and so can they. So it's really a meet in the middle type of situation. Kind of like that song. Anybody remember what song I'm talking about?
The Diamond Rio song?
Yes, thank
Yes.
you. Yeah. It's, you know, I mean, it's an earworm, but it's got a lot of solid points. Some people speak through music. Some people speak through memes. Like, it's knowing yourself and knowing the other person. And that's why it's so important to love yourself first, because if you can have that open line of communication with somebody, it leaves things open to where you're welcoming them in. You're welcoming the spot to meet actually in the middle, versus saying something along the lines of, well, this is where I'm at, and this is how I have to have things done. There's a difference between expressing a boundary and expressing something that you need, and putting an expectation on somebody that isn't necessarily warranted. Free will is a thing.
At the end of the day, when you're loving other people, it should be about compromise. There has to be a give if there is a take. And a lot of people lose sight of that. You know, it's about accommodation. It's about concession. Well, you know, if you start to change too much about a person, they cease to be who it is that they were and become the image that you decide they should be, just for your own comfort and your own stability. But at the end of it, who the fuck are you? to be asking that of somebody else.
Mr. Minton said, I say I love you all the time to my family, friends, and coworkers because you never know what will happen to you or them in between seeing them next.
Absolutely. You know?
And sometimes that makes that person's entire day.
It's amazing hearing that, and this is something that I've noticed, you know, doing the pastoral thing, doing the metaphysics thing, doing the motivational speaker thing. It's something that I've noticed over the years. You can tell who's a bullshit artist by the way it's felt when they say it. You know, I love you. Well, what do you want? You know, how many times have we had those particular relationships? Well, I love you. Okay, so what'd you fuck up, or what do you want?
I love you.
What do you want?
Versus, I love you. I love you.
What do you want?
I mean, we all did that shit as kids. If you remember, you go up to your mom, dad, or whatever. For me, mom, probably you, mom. Love you. All right, what'd you break?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What'd you do now?
Pretty much. You know, a lot of times too, it's used as a means of testing the water. Will they say it back? Are they that mad at me? Did I fuck up bad enough to where they're not going to feel the same way? Are they going to leave me on red if I text it or message it? You know, it should never be weaponized. That's another interesting thing that people don't think about. How manipulative is it to literally go, I love you, just to control the situation so that you feel better? Are you really loving that person, or are you really giving yourself to that situation? Are you giving your attention? Are you actually giving unconditionally? Fuck no, none of it. You're really not. You're expecting them to have a given response so that everything can be glossed over.
A couple comments we have is April said, quote, I love you, when it's always followed by but.
Oh,
Had lots of those people in the past.
Ew.
And Keith said it's not a weapon, not at all. It's not.
It shouldn't be.
It's supposed to be a gift. It should be as easy as breathing. It's a beautiful thing when it's given freely and unconditionally. It's not always easy, and you know, I mean, we always get into a little bit of a weird area when we start talking about the people that it's a struggle to love. But the real question is it actually a struggle? Love is a gift. You can choose who to give it to.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny said it should be unconditional. It should be.
It should be. It's a gift that's freely given. So why shouldn't you freely give it? If it's freely given to you, then it should be just as easy as anything else. As easy as breathing. It's only as difficult as you make it. Choose a Spirit Mechanics
Is
quote.
To go.
But at the end of it, that's what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Keith said we can love unconditionally, however, we don't have to put up with not healthy or toxic patterns. We have to make that choice. Exactly.
That ties into last week and loving yourself.
And that's why I brought it back up.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a freely given gift. You get to choose who gets that gift.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really beautiful thing when you actually build that connection with somebody and you can just freely give it. Because I know that there's a lot of people in the comments that are in all the time, and when we say we appreciate you, we mean it. We really do love each one of you. It's just something that we truly love to do. We really do love loving others. It's super cliche and kind of lame to say, but it doesn't make it not true.
It's the only message that I ever had. The only message, I think it was one of your big ones there for a bit too. It was the only message that you had for a while. And when you start to try to express that love, some people just aren't reciprocal of it, and that's fine. They don't have to be. You gave the gift. It's their choice to receive it or not.
I mean, boundaries are a thing.
Mhm.
That's literally what it's actually about anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think one of the biggest things when it comes to the expression of love is, one, it's stigmatized because most people have been abused, especially emotionally, by someone that said that they love them.
Mm-hmm.
And those habits die hard, especially with the trauma. Well, if I do it to them first. So you get a lot of that preemptive, if I establish this first, then they can't do it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something else that you see a whole lot, is preemptive trauma responses. And it really puts a strain on relationships, regardless of the type of relationship. It really does. Because then, one, you don't understand the emotional context of the relationship. Two, neither side is able to be emotionally available. And lastly, neither one is vulnerable enough to understand, or at least relay, that something's wrong. You know, this is the reason why a lot of relationships usually wind up falling apart, is one person goes about their business without really taking the other one into account, and then sits there and goes, well, it's all their fault. If they shouldn't have let me do this. Well, they should have said something. Well, if they expressed themselves properly, then I could do it. Well, you know, they're just as involved as I am. Well, well, what? It's a deep fucking subject, and it's run dry.
Catching up on a couple of comments. Mr. Benton said, in the infamous words of Rule Paul, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
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 Keith said he loves us. We love you too.
Absolutely, bud.
Kevin Michael Guthrie said hi.
So,
He
Sir?
also said, that's something I don't think I've ever had, is a reciprocal relationship. I've set a boundary there. I don't mind carrying the weight, but I need help at times. I need help at times too.
I love you, Keith.
You need to trust each other enough to think of the other and be able to communicate in a healthy manner.
Exactly. You know, it's not just, well, they should present it to me in a specific way. God damn. You know, they should talk to me like this. They should present themselves like this. If they don't, then there's something wrong with them. It's not the relationship, it's not the reciprocation, it's something wrong with them, right? Well, they don't have emotional maturity because they can't approach me this way. Well, once again, who the fuck are you to decide how it is that they express themselves or their love for you? Putting stipulations on it like that is really terrible and is excessively abusive. Because then you're telling the person that the way they feel is completely incorrect.
Mm-hmm. You want to shatter a relationship in a heartbeat and validate how they feel.
Keith said, I have indeed learned a few things from y'all, LOL. As Lyndon Nelson said, it's really frustrating to be told how I should or shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair to you. Not at all. Especially when you're freely given that love. Unconditionally.
Love is patient and is kind. It is not envious. It is not boastful. It does not seek its own. I'm not going to go for the rest of it.
I was just holding the space if you were gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's part of it too.
But yeah, that's love. Love has nothing to, like, reiterating what Steve is saying, reiterating what Patricia's saying. Love has nothing to do with selfish desire. It's about giving. It's about being there. It's about doing. Love is action. Love is a verb. You remember that? Love is a verb. It's not a noun.
Hooray for Bible school.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
April said, love without expectations. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Keith said, love should be given freely, not held at hostage point.
Nope.
One of the most amazing things, and this is one of the most amazing things I think I've seen, is the extreme emergence of emotional blackmail. Like and I'm saying it with the greatest of sarcasm, I love how often I do counseling sessions and that's all I hear. And it's one of those deals of, well, I've done all this for you. What have you done for me? Well, if it goes all the way back to fucking grade school. Well, if you don't do this, you're not my friend.
Oof.
Or, even married couples. Well, I've given this for you. What have you given for me? From couples that have literally been together for years. That was great. Doing marriage counseling, that was solid.
Linda said, honestly, sometimes I really wish I had someone, but stepping into that kind of thing again, or the possibility of it, is terrifying. Much more terrifying than being alone.
That's the result. That's usually the end result of going through that kind of abuse.
I would rather be lonely than with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very serious situation when it comes down to it, because then you don't know who to trust with your heart, whether it's another romantic relationship or even people close to you. Walls start to go up. Well, now that I have this back, my emotions are no longer in a hostage situation. I will never let them out of my sight and out of my possession ever again. And it's heartbreaking. It is.
April said, love doesn't come with a balance sheet.
Nope.
And kind of playing off of what Steve said, it's really awful watching somebody express something to you that they've gone through and watching the spark in them start to dim as they talk about it, because they've shut themselves off. It's really sad, especially as somebody who can see that happening, because not that I'm speaking for everybody in the group, but I mean, we want all of you to be happy and joyful and successful in whichever way that is for you. We don't ever want our clients to come back with their lights dimmed because of the situation they've been in. But we're always there if you need us. He said what really sucks is being lonely when someone is sitting right next to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's part of the struggle about communication, is if you can open up and be vulnerable, hopefully that doesn't happen. But I'm sorry that you did go through that.
It goes back into the topic we did a few weeks ago of why people get into those types of relationships. And 9 times out of 10, it's a trauma bond.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is what I'm used to. I see exactly what is going to happen at the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of jokes about having specific flavors, but at the end of the day, that's the reason why the flavors are there.
Yep.
Well, this kind of mentality caused this kind of issue in my life, but because it's so familiar, I'm going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's literally that kind of Stockholm situation, you know, going back into the aftercare thing. You know, that's literally what it does boil down to, is you don't know how to survive without constantly looking over your shoulder, or constantly doubting yourself, or constantly being the one to have to make the concession, to be the one that has to accommodate. You know, no one knows how to do that after you've experienced it for that long. You know, I being open, I had 2 mistakes before I found Tiff. And the first couple years that we were together were rough. We both had things that we needed to overcome. But on my end, I was not, and still struggle with it, I was not emotionally available. I was vulnerable enough to talk about things from time to time, but I was not available. There was not a way to reciprocate. It was all about her. Because the first 2 made sure. You know, there were things throughout my life that basically made it one-sided. So the way that I show my affection, my love, is to put the person that I am around, not just, you know, my wife. She's above all the rest of you fucks, sorry to tell you. But
Fair.
Don't expect it any other way.
But, in all honesty, everybody takes precedence. Everybody else takes precedence. Because I don't have that emotional availability. Now, you see this a lot, you know, doing the marriage counseling thing really helped this come into view for me. And I talk about it literally all the fucking time. But that is the understanding that regardless of what the relationship is, there is no such thing as a 50-50. And if you go into it expecting 50-50, you're lying to yourself. And it's already doomed to fail. Psychologically, literally, proven by study, there is no such thing as an equal partnership. What it is a 90-10. One person holds the responsibility, holds this stability, holds the responsibility of making sure that everything works and functions, and the other person only has 10%. Make sure that you can actually function as a human being. And when I get tired, we switch roles. That's what makes it an actual, legitimate, reciprocated relationship.
Catching up on a couple of comments, Keith said if you want to heal a relationship, you need to heal yourself.
True.
And that he didn't see the red flags because they were his normal. Jenny agreed. Slipping back into, Keith also said, slipping back into the quote comfort zone, even though it's actually not comfortable. If we don't heal, we will attach things from our past relationships to the new partner. The quote, waiting for the other shoe to drop syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
Mandy said relationships have to be give and take, never 50-50. Michelle agreed.
Mandy Marteus.
Yes.
Just to differentiate between Mimi and
Yeah.
yeah.
Keith said it should be back and forth shared. So I'm going to say something. Because it's come up a lot lately. Each one of you, if you think you don't deserve better, you fucking do. You fucking do. Don't tell yourself that bullshit. And for every person that thinks that they don't deserve better or that they're not worthy of something, you fucking are.
Mm-hmm.
You are. It is freely given. You have to make the choice to reach out and grab it. But you are fucking worth everything and you deserve more than you could imagine. And it's come up so much recently, I felt the need to say it again on the live. You deserve better and you are fucking worthy.
I have a thing that I need to say that it's ran through my head like 3 times. Expectations breed limitations, and limitations are shackles that bind you to the ground.
It's true. You know, it starts with you. Literally everything starts with you. It's not about other people to begin with. Everything starts with you. With a choice. This is the kind of person I want to be. And then it moves out to the people that are around you. That's what love is. This is the kind of person that I want to be, so this is the kind of person that I am.
Mm-hmm.
That leads me into probably what's going to be my particular last point, you know, as far as this particular live, and that is, so what is it to express love? Love is to be of service. Not to be served, not to be subservient, to be of service. If it is something that is freely given, then it should be freely offered. Hence, you should always be of service. It shouldn't be something that has to be forced or begged for. That person is giving you a portion of their life. The least you could do is earn it. If you're going to be somebody who is disrespectful enough to just say, well, that's cool. Thanks for being here. Whatever, you exist. Are you really being true and loving? Can you really say that, at least with a straight face, that you're doing things unconditionally? No. Love is to be of service. As you are in service to others, so you are served. Hence reciprocation. This is not a difficult thing. It's made difficult. Well, I'm going to be of service to this person, but by God, I better be paid for it. I'm going to be in service to this person, but they better treat me this way. I'm going to be in service to this person, but, you know, they better walk the chalk and talk to me exactly the way I need. If it's something that is freely given as a gift, are you supposed to get recompense for it? Being of service is the greatest gift that we can give of anybody else. God is in service to us every single day because God gives us the ability to be us every single day. The people around us that we care about are in service to us every single day because they allow for that expression to be a thing. We should be in service to ourselves every single day, allowing ourselves to actually express those things that we have been given the opportunity to. If any of those three things don't happen, you're a bullshit artist that probably needs to look in a mirror instead of pointing fingers.
Catching up on a couple comments, April said, those that are addicted to the 90%, don't forget that not allowing someone else to be the 90% is not allowing them to love you.
True.
Mm-hmm. You can't do it all yourself.
And he said that I deserve so much better, even of the person I used to be. I deserve better of who I used to be. I keep working on that every day.
Dude.
Absolutely. If we want better, we should choose better. It goes back into last week's topic of loving yourself. You know, change starts with the individual, not with the masses.
So, something that I'm going to jump in and say is I don't want anybody to beat themselves up or internalize any of the things that they've done in the past in regards to love. Because if you're actively choosing to be better, then you should allow yourself to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Holding on to the past, kind of like what he said earlier in the comments, it brings all that stuff back up. And if you're trying to figure out a way to love somebody that's toxic, that's a different conversation than the one we've been having tonight.
Yes.
Do not internalize that. It's
Well,
not fair to you.
I need to be of service to this person who's a piece of shit to him. No. And that
No.
goes back to loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Maybe it'll be a spark. Maybe it'll be a spark for you to realize that that person isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing and you're giving the 90% all the time. I've heard it different. I've heard 80-20, 90-10, same difference. But, yeah, it don't work if the sides don't flip-flop.
The big thing is to understand to give of yourself is self-sacrifice. To give of yourself unconditionally is self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice is to be of service. And there are 3 different layers of that. Your flavor, those around you, and yourself.
Not in that order.
It always starts with you. You should always be in service to yourself so that you can be of service to other people, so that you can be in service to your flavor, which comes back full circle. Because you are in service to your flavor, you're able to be in service to yourself, and so it continues.
Keith said if you can't be honest with yourself and or your partner, you need to figure out why. There's an issue. It can be from your childhood communication, even with the self.
Mm-hmm.
And Freya heard you and came in to say hey. She's such a sweet girl.
She is. She is a boof floof.
She is. And then went to the front door. LOL.
Well, I'm there.
I mean, you know.
That's the common thing. I'm there. I'm hanging out.
But go ahead, Steve.
No, you're good.
It is why we started with self first, and why tonight moved into loving others, and why next week is what it is as well, because that one is divine love.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a good month, guys. And for those of you who may need a little extra something, start by doing something small. In the mirror, every time you walk past, pause and say, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you start to believe it within yourself, you'll be able to start believing that you can love others. That it doesn't have to be conditional. It can be unconditional.
It's an interesting psychological thing that happens when you look at yourself in the mirror and say those words, and you look yourself in the eye. Because as you can say, I love myself all the time, but you don't really have a face to put with it. And that's not a metaphysical thing, that's psych.
For those of you who are struggling a little bit with feeling deserving or worthy, try all three. I love you. You are deserving and so am I. I am worthy and so are you.
Affirmations can go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, we are enough.
He said, if you can't do all the dishes, wash a plate. If you can't clean a room, clean a corner. And Dina said, expressing gratitude for the love in your life will increase love.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Small changes lead to small victories, and small victories lead to massive changes. Massive changes lead to large victories.
It all starts with you. It all starts with a choice. It's beautiful watching that ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful watching somebody's spark come back full and happy. Because we love hearing about the victories. We really fucking do. Please share them with us.
Absolutely.
For the love of God, please.
Because we will happily be there when you need us. We'll happily be there at the lows. But by God, do we want to hear about the fucking highs?
Imagine Steve with pom-poms and a cheerleader dress going, yeah!
Some days.
Some days. Some days.
Scarefest costume?
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
We can be the zombie cheerleaders for Scarefest this year. I'll do it too.
Zombie cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind wearing a skirt. I don't care.
Well, with
Want
that,
to be the first time?
do we have anything left for this live, guys, or do we want to close it out?
Give them an opportunity to say what they need to say.
He said, my victory, I survived and learned that I am still learning. That's a fucking awesome victory, Key.
It sure is.
Absolutely.
Michelle said, if you can't love them unconditionally, accepting them as they are not the right person for you. If it's family members, you can love them from a distance and or limit your time with them. Their behavior is about them, not you. And Renee said, hell yes, zombie cheerleaders.
You know, it is a situation of you can love the person, but dislike the individual that they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's something that a lot of people haven't really put into practice or really thought about. I love you. You know, this comes into what Michelle was just talking about as far as loving people from a distance. I love you. But we're going to have to agree to disagree. I love you, but there are certain things that I can't tolerate, that I can't be around.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Boundaries.
Why are you doing that? You love yourself enough. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's like recently has been I started a new job and all I have is me and time and parts running through all day long. It's just me and time. I don't have anybody really to talk to. There's nobody near me to talk to or anything like that. So there is no distractions. And there are a lot of times where, like what you all were talking about last week, why am I feeling like this? Trying to love myself a little more. I'm feeling this thing or I'm feeling that thing. Why? Why is this going on? Why is this occurring? Which goes into this week's more of, all right, we had our media meeting. All right, got to do the thing. What do you all think? What do you all want to do? How do you all want to go about it? It's not just, for me, a lot of my love language is service, acts of service, doing things for people, doing things for somebody else. That's how I express the love. Sometimes physical contact, like getting a hug, that's another one of them, but that's on a very rare occasion. So taking the time to work with yourself leads to working with others, which leads to thank you that I have this opportunity, thank you that this is going this way, thank you that you're moving things in the correct direction, thank you, because that's the only act of service that I can think of to give higher, which we'll be talking about next week.
Catching up on some comments, Mandy said, I've learned that when I'm struggling with loving myself, I project that struggle onto others as if I'm trying to validate why I feel unloved externally.
Mm-hmm.
I feel my husband, my comments jumped. I feel my husband doesn't, oh shit, it happened again. Sorry, technical difficulties, guys, 1 second. I feel my husband doesn't love me when it's me who's not loving me. It's self-sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Honestly, fuck yes for having that conversation and feeling the strength to actually say that.
Absolutely.
Fuck yes.
You have any idea how difficult it is to admit the fact that you are the one that is the problem?
Night, Keith. Get some rest. Get some sleep. He also said we can take a break and hold. He said we can take a break and hold space for someone while they learn, but need to see and understand if they don't. Very true. And please do get some sleep.
Yep.
Michelle said, when you love yourself, you don't put yourself in toxic situations, or if you do, it's by your choice with shields up. And by shields, I mean breathing, calm, and inner peace so you can respond and not react to anything that may happen. True.
Emotional reactions are the quickest way to destroy any kind of progress.
Yeah.
Being emotional, having the reaction is fine, but living and making a decision based on that emotion is not. Being overly negative in that moment, you're not going to make a great decision. You're going to spark a fight, or you're going to miss that deadline, or you're going to do, X, Y, and Z in that particular moment because you're emotionally compromised. Fuck them dishes. They can do them.
Renee said, loving myself has made me a better person, and in turn been loving people more, letting people in and feeling my huge heart.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
It's important because you have an amazing heart, Renee.
You do, goddammit.
You really do. And thank you guys for sharing these victories with us. Because I mean it, we fucking love to hear them. It kind of sparks things for us too, because we love getting to celebrate with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Even a small victory is still a fucking victory.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be celebrated. He said, now moment, not what might happen, as far as in reference to what Michelle said, by breathing calm and inner peace. Very now moment, not what might happen. Focusing on the now versus what's going to potentially happen.
Yup.
Stillness. Stillness allows for mindfulness. 'Tis what is important. Going into things half-cocked and emotionally charged, it really makes for a situation where you wind up, and not to call you out, but to bring your comment up, Mandy, it allows for moments of severe-ass projection. It's your fault I didn't do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's your fault I feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. You sat down, that's why you didn't do it. And you're being reactionary. It has nothing to do with the other person. Their modality might have caused that emotional response. But did you take the time to actually question why? Most people don't. And you get into moments where you do things out of spite just to hurt other people. well, because they said or did this thing, fuck them. You know, I'm going to sit down, or I'm going to brush them off, or I'm gonna, you know, and it's like, why? Why? That makes the other person go, what the fuck is the matter with you? And then you have this huge conflict because no one is actually communicating. You can't leave people hanging that way.
We're very proud of you for being able to express that, Mandy, because that's the other thing, is when people are vulnerable, it allows us to be vulnerable, and it allows us to show somebody else that may be struggling with something similar
Mm-hmm.
that there is actually hope, and that there can be faith in certain situations. So thank you, for real. It was...
That's a huge deal.
It is. And Renee, Linda Nelson said celebrations are always great. I fully fucking agree. I am the first bitch to show up with a cupcake and throw a party for no reason because something small happened. Because it's always something big in my mind. Every time.
Even high fives.
Even high fives.
Especially high fives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Renee said, y'all have helped me see the greatness in myself, my true self, and my true heart. The peace is amazing. It is. The stillness is fucking fantastic. And that's kind of what I was talking about last week. Is when you find it, you just want to fucking stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so peaceful and magnificent. Night Della, love you.
Not Mom.
Jenny said you could gas Renee, and I fully fucking agree. April said allowing others to love me has been an interesting journey. Love meant something very different to me a year ago than what it means to me now. I love you all. We love you too, and we're fucking proud of
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
Really fucking proud
shit.
of you. Tyree said hi.
Hey, Tyree.
So,
And Mandy responded back and said that's totally right, and it's deep insecurity from trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool because he's good at allowing me to hold space when I'm vulnerable, and the same goes to him. Thanks, guys. Our communication is light years ahead of what we've ever had.
oh,
Fuck yeah.
awesome shit.
See, this shit makes me so happy. Because, like, fuck yes. The growth is amazing, guys. Night, Dina. Love you guys.
Bye, Tina. Love you.
She said, I love your asses, and I don't throw the word love around lightly.
I mean, I don't have a great ass, but that's... Thank you.
We love you, Dina.
We love you.
And thank you for coming out to see us. It was so good to fucking see you.
And
It
get a
really
hug.
was. Yes.
Be good to yourself, man.
Alright, guys. We'll hold comments open for a couple more minutes if anybody else wants to toss anything in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
April said, those of us who hold trauma are sometimes the best healers. Yes. It's just...
Hold is... I wouldn't say is the right word. Have had.
I was about to say it's just a caution to not allow it to be a trauma bond.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's different to... It makes it easier to hold the space because we understand at a deeper level.
I was about to say the same thing. Great minds.
So you were right. It was just because when you can come from that place, that much of a deep place of love and understanding, the empathy is insane in such a good way because it allows somebody to go, okay, no, I actually do understand where you're coming from. I'm going to hold this space for you because I understand A, why it is you need it, and B, what happens when you have it.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it was a great point to bring up.
Which comes back to being of service.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle Cobb. How you doing, sir?
Hello, hello.
Renee said, I look back at myself and say, what the hell was I doing? To see everyone's love for me and feel it in myself is amazeballs.
Agreed.
Yeah. We've been saying we love you. We mean it. Kyle Cobb said cheers. Lyndon
Absolutely,
Nelson,
sir.
If I had something to, well, Pepsi.
Water.
Water.
I think Steve may have an energy drink, but he's kind of.
He slammed it already. It's
Yeah,
gone.
It's gone.
He obliterated it.
I
He
sure
cheersed
did.
earlier, and it was gone.
He had a preemptive cheers.
I had a preemptive cheers, yes.
Lyndon Nelson said, "Holding that space genuinely." Exactly. It's amazing because every time you do, it's a gift freely given. Mandy said, "Y'all are the best. I needed this boost tonight." I'm really glad that
Thank
we were
you.
able to even just talk it out. Jenny said, "You guys are my rock. Love you all." I love you too, Jenny. A lot. Like a lot. Alright, guys. I think it's about that time. Steve, you want to close us out?
Sure. Again, we'll be at the shop next weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to be there doing our 100 series classes. If you guys are interested, the links for those are floating around on Facebook. You can also go to spiritmechanics.com and sign up. If you need help with that, please let us know. We'll make sure that you get the proper links or the proper information. Send us a private message or get a hold of us on the website. But I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow, at least for a little bit, with a quick word. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember that those that have the power to change themselves have the power to change the world around themselves. Love you guys.
Love you guys. See y'all.
And Linda will answer your comment we'll answer your
Okay.
question in the